Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome back again to a space called House of the Hoodie, where we are usually talking about different subjects, different topics, spiritual matters, culture, politics, family matters, relationships, what and what not, esoteric matters, blah blah blah. So basically today I want us to touch based on the kind of visual consciousness that the system have conditioned us to vibrate in. So it's quite plain to tell what at this juncture you understand that our world, you understand that is kind of like conditioned to vibrate from the angle of the flight and fight mode, you understand that, which sprouts from the R complex of the brain. They call it the reptilian part of the brain. You understand that is concerned with survival tactics, survival modes. It's either us or them. It's either you are at the wrong, I am at the right. You understand that? Yeah, that sort of dual consciousness that we are induced to and operating in. You understand? So remember that now the sole purpose of a soul from our mother's womb, to the tomb, you understand, from birth to death, which the sole purpose is to merge the two extremes, you understand. That's the sole purpose of the hero, you understand, to rule and to reign above the two worlds, the upper Egypt or Kemet, and the lower Egypt or Kemet, you understand. So this that's self-mastery, to master the spiritual matters and the physical life affairs. So the duality is what we were brought forth to from our mother's wombs. So with a whole lot of dynamics that takes place, in between, what transpires in between the womb and the tomb, you understand. So the sole purpose is to merge the two polarities, you understand, until one soul gets to transmigrate to another forms of energy thereafter. So now it's so crucial for the system, to sort of like tamper with that natural or cosmic blueprint. It's so crucial for the system to re-engineer our societies, you understand, now with people in it operating from a part of the brain which is the R complex, you understand, as we just mentioned. It concerns itself with like flight or fight, the dual consciousness type of thing. So now it sort of like creates us to be the diehard chasers of the outer salvation, outer approvals, you understand. It drifts one away from a standpoint. So all the answers that I might be looking for, they are actually within, you understand. And it's sort of like externalize the human pursuit to a truth, because now the god, the goddess lives deep within. So that is not like the plan for the system. The system's plan is to deviate us from the God essence, from the God body. We understand that we came into this physical incarnation with. So we are the chasers of the external assurance. We understand how the society is conditioned. In this society, porn, is sold, which is loneliness, sold to us, in the form of sex. You understand? We have like the biological warfare that they are waging now on humanity. Understand? With synthetic foods. You understand? Fast foods. Which are like poison sold to us. As foods. You understand? We have these social medias, which are just likes and interactions, sold to us, as friendship. You understand? We have, like celebrities, which are ads sold to us, as my role models. You understand? We have these smartphones that we scroll, as distractions, sold to us in a form of downtime or pastime. You understand? So everything is twisted in the society for the purpose of keeping like a human being who vibrates in a lower state of the brain, sprouting from that R complex of the brain. So with how the brain works, each brain neuron retains the energy once it reaches a certain point. You understand that it's sort of like create electrical signals, which shoots to other neuronal cells that repeats the same pattern. You understand? And then once now these voltages shoot simultaneously, you understand, that they form brain waves. You understand? So we have the lower brain wave, which is the beta. We have the alpha, we have the theta, we have the delta, we have the gamma. You understand? So the theta particularly is the lowest part. You understand? Yeah. So our reptilian brain facilities, you understand, how we were conditioned to vibrate. You understand, to perceive the whole phenomena of life. You understand, is a twisted, is a distorted perception. You understand, ever that we were conditioned into. You understand, because it's the lowest state of the brain that we are using now in like interpreting life as a whole. You understand, whether it's color, whether it is taste, like sight. You understand, whether it's interactions, whether everything is not complete. You understand, because an apparatus that we are using now, it's now deciphering the quantum space, is the lowest one, sprouting from the beta brainwave. You understand? So how the system does this is quite twisted. You understand, with the biological warfare that they wage on us via the foods and the drinks. You understand, and these biochemicals that they bombard us with the electromagnetic pollution, trauma 5Gs and the advancement of the technology. You understand, with the whole like pollution environment. You understand, which sort of like disturbs and perturbs the natural patterns, the organic template of our biodiversity. That's symbiotic relation corner between human beings, like every aspect that you can think of out there, on the natural environment. So it's quite important for the system to dampen us down on that lower frequency, the beta males, the beta females. You understand? Yeah, and to sort of like re-engineer and rewire the natural rhythms, on which how the brain should operate in. You understand? Because now our biology, our body systems, you understand, react to how the brain functions. You understand, like our belief systems, our perceptions, our awareness, our morality, how we perceive things, the power of observation. You understand, which sort of like builds the perception builds our realities, relatively. So from the biology of a human being, umuntu, our pineal glands, which is the master gland, which is the glandular system, that permits us to navigate our higher potentialities within. So the pineal gland, as we know it, is made of like it's carbon, it's carbon, and also calcite crystals, So with how the brain works, you understand that with these now calcite crystals, they are more, they act like ama quartz. You understand, the quartz which are vital in the modern computerized systems, you know, because quartz retains of the substance called amagalinas, you know. So amagalinas are they're quite vital to send a radio signal, or rather a radio antenna, understand that, to track the radio frequency as you get to oscillate within the different radio stations. So now when now you apply that analogy to how now the human biology was made out, the crystalline calcite, as we say, they are more like a quartz. You understand? The body is of electromagnetism. You know how the body works. It works via electromagnetic. You understand? From our bed, you understand, from the cell of the mother, the pronucleus, from the pronucleus and the spermatozoon cell. You understand that when they get to merge, you understand that they form, if I cicatrices, you know, in which now when like the whole chromosomal mitosis, meiosis, blah blah blah, and then until now forming cells I8, you know, and those cells I8, they are found at the base of our spines. So this is where now the another master gland, you understand, called is cerebrospinal fluid. This is where it comes from, you understand. So this cerebrospinal fluid moves in a cursive motion of a serpent, you understand. Basically, in spiritual terms, is what we call kundalini. Yeah, boss. But this is biology, this is science, because we can't separate the science from the biology. I'm not talking about the mainstream science here, you understand. So this fluid, it lays dormant and latent. So exercises such as like breathing techniques, meditation, transcendental meditations, they are more their main purpose was to electrify or to reawaken this by this electromagnetic bioenergy within us. You understand, using the cerebrospinal fluid, because the time meditator, you understand, the power of breath serves as a process. Now, in that analogy I was making from a radio station, what presses the galinas, what gives the pressure to the galinas, the quartz, computer systems, is the process called piezoelectrical effect. So now, with how the body was fashioned, you understand, the power of breathing, it gives a pressure now to these calcite crystallines, from which now pineal gland is made out from, you understand, with the bone structure. Remember, with the spinal cord, bone structure, you know, the skeletal structure. So using the two mechanisms of which endocrine system and the nervous systems, you understand, that they serve as a conduit, you understand, of the data now, the cerebrospinal fluid. So I am over up the 33 foramens of your vertebrae and terminate with cranium yako. So the cranium, the lowest part is the part that I was alluding to, you understand, that the ventricle of the brain, you know. Now the reptilian, what they call now the reptilian brain, and on top of it, the neocortex, which houses the pineal gland, and of course on top of it, the cortex region. So with our breathing exercises and the meditation, these calcite crystals, they get to be pressed. and to release this energy coming from is cerebrospinal fluid is sprouting from these 8 cells from our gestations. So the science of the God body is within the body of a human being as a template, which is the microcosm, reflecting the grandeur universe, which is the macrocosm. So we are the universe. The universe is within. Our cells were made. You understand how the protons, the neutrons, the electrons, circle or orbit, the nucleus is exactly how the planets, you understand, in their parade orbits around the solar disk, which is the sun, the Aten, the Ra, the Ramasid. So as above, so below, as within, so without, you understand. So this whole thing, you would chase the outer stimuli as something like man is convinced what we are of a potency, of a power, of a wealth. We understand. Isn't okay, you understand, but it's the manipulation coming from a system. You understand the evil system, about the nefarious system plotted by people who never wishes any good for the world to progress forward. So if we can bridge the dual consciousness amongst us, I think we can, and then we will stop vibrating at the lower state, you understand, where we interpret the whole world, you understand, as black and white, you understand, as us and them, you understand, as the left wing, the right wing, which is an illusion, you understand, because that's where now sexism comes from, that's where racism comes from, you understand, that's where pedophilia comes from, you understand. If I view a part of me, like in essence, in you, I wouldn't steal from you. I wouldn't infringe against your will, your preference, you understand. I would respect you because I see myself, reflected in your countenance, you understand. So let us bridge dual consciousness, because the awareness that the grandeur cosmos, the universe, that is aware of is the oneness of its own self. So thank you very much. Until we see each other again in the next episode, please like, share, subscribe, and indulge. Ask. Let's have a talk. Wait, blessed.